Hello, hello, hello. It's RocksAlot, and we are going live. I think we are. We're going live. Get my apron on, and yeah, we got a few different things to cut today. Do that. Do that. All right. Excuse me. We got some stuff to do today. Interesting stuff too. Hey there, welcome in. Thursday evening live, and yeah, we got quite a few things to do today, or possible things to do. And I hope you can see that okay. Check everything's working. It is. That's going to be probably the favorite one to do today. And yeah, I got a few different things to show. Got some turquoises. I believe this is a piece that came from Tanya over at My Jewelry Addiction. Very kind enough to send that to me, and I did a quick chop on it yesterday. My saw is working, but not working fantastic. It's a little heavy on the vibration. Hey there, welcome in. How you guys doing? Well? I think the chat's working. But I think this is probably Cadys mountain. I know she's out in California. And got some beautiful streaks through it. We might get to this one if we have time. This one's going to be a little bit harder on the wheels. And there you go. It actually looks like a mountain in there too. So possibly Cadys Mountain, Jasper. If not, it is definitely California somewhere. And that should be pretty interesting. Hi there, welcome in. Tanya, My Jewelry Addiction. Go check out her channel. She is a reseller and a tour guide of antiques and everything else out in California. Beach walks, a little bit of everything. But I have mostly today, I have different phosphates. I went and bought some of the cheapest turquoise. I think it's called La Verde from Mexico. And I did a cut on this one. I did a cut on what may be Alpine Village. This one's really neat. I had a few good and bad cuts on the Blue Mountain, which this stuff is gorgeous. Hi there, everybody. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great afternoon. I got this one docked up. This is that eggshell number 8. I did a line by hand, which isn't bad, really. But it's so soft. I think I might have to stabilize the rest of it somehow. And let's see if we can get close on this without... There you go. So you can kind of see there is a little bit of matrix in there. But it's like broken eggshell. Really neat stuff. That should hopefully go today. A really bad piece of Smoky Kingman. I mean, like, awful. I have some more of that, though. And this piece also came from Tanya. And we might get to this one. This one's got greens and reds in it. Pretty sure it's a Jasper. I'm not sure if it's not like a bloodstone mix. It's really pretty. So this was hard, but not crazy hard. So we might try and do a little cab out of that. And looking at it, it almost looks... So this outside looks similar to thunder egg material. I don't think it's a thunder egg. Pretty sure it's not. But it has that skin to it. See that skin right there? So, not sure on this one. That's gorgeous in there. Look at that. We might try and get that out there. So we might end up going out to the saw. I'm not really sure. This was another piece from Tanya as well. I had to sort of work around this one because you can see it's fractured, and actually I was able to crack it with my hands yesterday, some of the fractures. So hi everybody, welcome in. Who's in here? Hi Kelly, welcome in. Mr. Pollock. Hey Stephen, how you doing? I saw your D&D dice die. They're getting better. In fact, they're almost to perfection. So if any of you like resin at work, a sense of humor, and D&D, they don't have to be all three. Go to Stephen Pollock's channel and hit that subscribe. You'll see him in a whole bunch of different chats, from resellers to lapidarists to people doing woodwork, all kinds of stuff. And hey, you're welcome. I like to see the little hearts and stuff. So somebody's playing with the buttons, which is great. And I think we're going to start. It's a hard choice. Let's do this one. This was the cheap stuff. It was like $100 a pound. It's a little potty. So I'm not sure that's going to clean up very well, but we'll give it a go. So we'll do that one first. Then we'll go on to the piece of Blue Mountain. Then we will try this one, which I'm not really sure what it is. It's just got some beautiful greens and reds in it. It's some nice stuff in there. I might do a small piece if it's got the same color. I'm not sure it has the same. Hey, Shellbell, welcome in. Thank you for popping into all my shorts, Shellbell. I really appreciate it. So look at the pattern in there. So I did actually go down where it had a slight fracture that went about halfway. And where was it? Something like that. And it had a slight fracture going through it. You can kind of see it right there. And I just went through that. I would have loved to have got that, but that wasn't going to happen. So I think we'll work on this one. So let's do this turquoise first. We got how many? 39 people in here. Let me show you some of my finds for the week. Had a really good week. Watch this. Let's see. Let's back it up. So I'm thinking about putting on some of my during the week finds, and I found these during this week. Good timing. They're about 9.5 inches tall, 4 inches in the bottom. Now they are weighted all the way through, but look at the price. Scary. So yeah, that's probably my best find. Hey Ryan, how you doing today? Yeah, I was thinking. No, I said bloodstone too, and I thought that. Yeah, pretty good find for the week. It was on a lunchtime, so it wasn't quite a day's pay, but it was certainly helps for the week. Let's get on with this. Phosphate, cheapest there is, Lavetta, Mexico, and we're gonna head over to the Genie. I work on a Diamond Pacific Genie. She is holding out right now. And just put a little extra oil in before we came on. Hopefully that'll be enough. And let's just tighten up here. There we go. So today I'm going to try and do, because I always forget, I'm going to try and do pictures of the rough before we get going. And then, hey Scott, how you doing today? Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. I don't know what your weather's like. I know my mom's been pretty chilly over there, and she's on the other end of the island, so. Oh, that's great. Did you get rocks from which sale was it? The quartzite sale, or was it Tim's sale or McKay's sale? I think probably McKay. It's gold. Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah, we got it pretty nice today. Super nice. I'm not even going to tell you guys. And then tomorrow it's going to start chilling down for us. So, okay, I'm going to start with semi-finger guards. Ouch. So, putting on my finger guards. We're not allowed to joke about them because you end up getting zapped. Yeah, so that must have been McKay. All right, here's a bit of noise. Let's get this going. If you could hit the thumbs up, that would be fantastic. Subscribe. We're at 420, so it's 420, even though it's like 5:30. Yeah, 5:30. So 420 at 5:30. I'd like to get to 1,500 maybe by next week. Is that asking too much? Maybe. Anyway, let's get moving. Here we go. That's working. Sounds like the pump's working. That looks pretty good. So let's get a picture of this one. I think. And here we go. Well, I would do a lot more jokes, but I get filtered myself, and then I pay for it later. I don't know. And then I see, I see a lot of channels that have music playing, but I'm not sure if they get demonetized or they get some sort of copyright infringement. I got copyrighted on, I forget what song it was, but I got copyrighted. It wasn't copyrighted, it was a restriction to Russia and Belarus. I forget what song it was. So yeah, cheap stuff. It's a little pity. It does change from a decent blue to sort of a greeny gray blue. And we're just going to see if we can make something out of this. So I'm going to start straight with the 80. Get that wet. Make sure my guard's up. Alright, here we go. This is stabilized. That is so strong, I'm putting on a mask. Alright. I got my mask on, so I sound muffled, so I sound like an Englishman that's been buried before I'm dead. This is stabilized in Mexico, bought out of Arizona. Ooh, dust. Not good. Let's double up on the water. So very nice people that I bought this from. I think they were Sonora Minerals or Sonora Gems out of Arizona. They do bulk minerals and gems. They didn't hide anything. This was the cheapest bucket that they had on the floor. And it was like, what is that? Less than 25 cents a gram. Alright, let me get something real quick. So somebody is texting me a few little rocks. Like it, but I'm not really sure there is a Chinese language. I think it's like Mandarin and different dialects of Chinese, I guess. It's funny how we do that, actually. The same with India, you know, different dialects. And here we just have different accents. Well, that's pretty decent. That's great. Yeah, I mean, 35 cents, what was it, a carrot? That's fantastic. Even if you get one good one out of it, you've covered everything you spent, so. You never know what you're gonna get, really. And so this actually is a test and a test. One is the test on the quality of the stone, test of the price, and test of the business itself. And like I said, they were very nice. They didn't try to sweep anything under the rug or give me stuff that they said they weren't sending me. And you know, they said this is the cheapest stuff we got, and so for me, anything above this price should be a better quality of stone. Mostly. Doesn't always happen. I have quite a lot of decent material to go through, but I'm always looking to re-up some of the stuff that I've already cut. Alright, I think I can bring it in a little bit more here so I get a high enough dome on it. And hopefully it's not too pitty. Let me flatten off this fat. Hi everybody. Now there's a couple of resellers going on later this evening. I'll be watching, but I told you I won't be buying. I don't think. A lot of resellers I just watch to gather information. Thank you, Steven. Miss Frecklecat is watching, sort of. Hi, Akira. How you doing today? Cheap stuff, Akira. This is my first try at it. I forget the whole Mexican name, but it's La Verde, Mexico. Stabilized. But I have to tell you, there's more turquoise to this than some other materials that I get. Now sometimes you want a lot of matrix, which actually we got some blue moon today, and I love the matrix that that's hiding in. Let's get this going, and then I'll start talking a little bit more. I know Jason Adams is on. I think he's doing a consignment. They're always good to watch his not necessarily his lives, but his lives, and also some of his other videos that he does. Just for the history of it. He knows his history better than most of us, and I know they've always been very nice. Tim and Jeremy have always been very nice to me over there. But yeah, I mostly wanted to get an idea of retail, well, wholesale prices of high-end jewelry. But he also does some stuff on glassware, and if you do go over there and subscribe, let him know that I sent you. It always helps. I'm getting down there. I'm going to take a big chunk of this off right now. A lot of work on this 80 bit today. Slowly coming down. And I have two turquoises today that I know are going to be fantastic. I already, just from the cut. I think they're from CVS. I think they were from CVS. I don't know. They're not very expensive. I've got these ones, and then I can't see the other ones, but I've also used the typewriter rubber ones, or the ones that people that would be doing a lot of mailing. So they got the porcupine finger pieces on them, and a little bit thicker than these. And I like to wear gloves, but that's a lie. I don't like to wear gloves, but when I wear gloves, I can't press anything on the phone because it just gets too wet. So I'm trying to be good to my nails. You know, if you look at lapidarists that have been doing it for 25, 30 years, and you can see they don't really need to go get their hands done. Now this is really easy. So I find, and sometimes you can see another lapidarist, just this top index finger nail right here, when I'm doing this, ends up going on the wheel. So it's just enough to, protect my finger just a little bit extra, that's all. And I forget who it was that was, I think it was North Star was saying how trying to put on gloves on wet hands is not the easiest thing to do, which it wasn't last time. So I'm just trying to be good to my fingernails. One corner is starting to get pretty low, and then in a couple of our lives, you'll see that I not only do sweat and tears, I also give blood sometimes. So they heal up really quick, but so this stabilization is pretty hard, which is why it's taking me a long time on this wheel. Yeah, they're real thin. Hopefully. Who knows, I could. I'm not the most unclumsy person in the world. When we go on holidays in the summertime, my parents would take us to like all the crafting stores, sort of touristy live crafting of artwork, ceramics, a lot of pottery. I saw a lot of pottery growing up. People throwing on wheels, glass blowing. but yeah, they didn't like me going in the final score at the end of the tour very much. I'm a pretty tall guy, and kind of like a bull in a china shop. Now I can walk like a cat though, so. All right. Yeah, I got some vacuuming to do too. I have a stuff, like a bag full of different stones I want to try. I'm gonna have to try, and so I also cut this piece earlier, part of the eggshell number 8, and my saw is vibrating. The blade is vibrating a little too much, so I was expecting this to crumble completely, but it just sort of crumbled up this little end right here, and so this is pretty soft stuff, and I might have to try and vacuum it, but I need some new cactus juice, or I might try the epoxy in the mason jar. Maybe. Lots of projects. So this isn't terrible. Bring that down just a little bit. Maybe I'll leave it. If I take it out, I got to go around the whole stone. So here we go. We'll do the whole stone. I don't need too high of a girdle on this. That's pretty good. Move on. Hi everybody, welcome in. Thank you for all the thumbs up. 89.7 Savannah, welcome in. Glad you could make it. This actually might turn out pretty good. Go around the girdle, all the way around. This is on the 220 grit right here. I was watching a cutter last week who was doing cabochons, and I tried for at least like 7 to 11 on the angle right there, to be able to grab hold with a bezel, but they were cutting it to 3 degrees, which, you know, it's almost vertical. I guess it's enough to grab a hold. Not too bad on the shape, it's pretty good. Maybe a little tuck in right here. We have a new critter in the house. We have a new 3.5 pound puppy, and he's probably only going to get to, I don't know, he might get to 15 pounds wet if he's lucky. Super cute. Super cute. And he's only 13 weeks now, and I'll have to put him in. I'll have to ask his manager if I can have permission to post him in the social media space at such a young age. But So all the kids at school have been sick this week, so Miss Frecklecat's been zooming school this last week, and she's been able to spend the whole time with him. So he's still getting used to me. I think he's had one accident in the house in a week. The rest of the time he wakes up, he lets us know that he needs to go out already, and yeah, outside he goes, he takes care of business, and he's good to go. So very surprising. And it may just be that Miss Frecklecat's a good trainer, obviously. So, well, his name is Toby. So now, what's the bias? It may change. It may change. We went through quite a few already. But he seems to be responding to it, so. Yep, he's been to the vet. He's had his second booster shots. He's all up to date, and it's just a matter of making sure he's safe outside, one from people, but also from larger animals, and we do have birds of prey around here that we got to watch out for, at least right now, because he's so tiny. So yeah, it's nice to have a new guy in the house. Doing the wiggle waggle and trying to bring the dome down even. It is turning out much nicer than I thought. I can't tell if that's still a little. See, it's got these little spots of matrix. Let me get dry here, sorry. Let's see if we can go closer. So these little spots of matrix are a little pity, and I don't think that's going to change even though it's been stabilized. Maybe as I come down it might get a little cleaner. We'll see. Hey there, Opal Guy, how you doing today? I saw your post the other day, I forget what it was about. It was something to do with the light, the fog. I think it was the fog and the rain, maybe. And then it went to clear sky. So that would be a meteorologist talking for you. So yeah, we also have a very large cat, and he's doing extremely well. I don't know how, but I don't know if he knows that this little guy is not only little, but he's a puppy. We're all very surprised, actually. There we go, that's good. So, working onto the 280, this is a soft wheel. I think I can take that off for right now, so I can take the mask on for a minute. I've got better water over here, and I'm taking off less material, so it's not floating around in the air. So yeah, our cat he's probably 19 pounds. I'm going to give him the lucky draw of being under 20, but I'm not so sure. And he is scarier than a dog when he gets Yeah, I don't know. He has a scary mode. Let's just put it that way. You know, he's more like a dog than he is a cat, which to us is a little odd, but he broke into the milk bones this morning. I don't know, but you can definitely see the cloud. So wouldn't it be great if instead of little particles in seeding the atmosphere, they're actually putting seeds up there and they came down with the water that they needed. We could replenish the whole of the paradox basin out in Utah and turn it all green again. But, alright, that's kind of done. You get that bottom little edge right there. Pretty happy with this. Actually, I'm very happy with this. So, $100 a pound material. I'm interested to see what the higher priced materials are like. Right now, I can show you the whole bag. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. Very happy with that. Take a quick picture because we did a before picture. So that's up to the third wheel, and no facets on here. Do have a couple of little bugs, but they can stay in there, and we can move on to something else. Let me show you this material. So this material like I say, $100 a pound from Mexico. I did have another piece that I had chopped real quick. So it's got some nice blues in it too. Hey G-Menu. But yeah. Actually, we'll take a peek in here, see what kind of color is in that one. But you can hear it. That is well stabilized. It doesn't smell if you just put it up to your nose like this, but as soon as you cut it, it does smell. Let's take that little wedge one. This is actually, I like these seams that are maybe 15 to 20 millimeters. That's probably about 10. But it makes it easy to work with. You don't have to take anything off. You don't have to back it. Yeah, you can hit the dislike. Let's see if it's got any color that's nicer than the outside skin here. There we go. Let's give it a quick go around the edge, see what color we got. There's some noise. That's screaming. Pretty nice color. Yeah, I mean, this is 1.5 inch, and you know, a Dremel piece. Do I have any out here? I got some in the drawer there, but a Dremel piece is maybe 1/2 inch long, sintered. There you go. Well, the color's pretty good. Pretty nice, actually. So we'll do that piece another time. And it actually varies in color from here to here. So that might turn out real nice. But right now, we're going to do this one. This one's pretty hard too. Did a really awful job at slicing last night. So I basically went out in the dark and sliced this up. And yeah, I did an awful job. This stuff's gorgeous. And there's a little thin on that side, really thin on that side. So I'm going to have to bring it all in like that some way. Something like that. And that's all matrix. This stuff's super hard as well. Really nice stuff. This is the Blue Moon, I'm sorry. That matrix is a little bit lighter when it dries up, but to have all these tiny little seams of turquoise going through it, and that color especially, is just fabulous stuff. So let's see if I can fix this a little bit. I didn't notice it last night. I was a little upset at myself when I saw it today. And it was just me being a little impatient. How about that? So let's do... That's what it looks like. I'm going to do a quick picture. Dry off to the phone. If I remember, this stuff is pretty hard. Yeah, pretty hard. Man, I messed that up. I messed that up big time. This is where I gotta watch my fingers because I am pressing really hard. I gotta get rid of all that. May take a second here. Thank you all for being here. Hey, what? What, we? And I wish I hadn't have done that. Dang it. Pressing too hard. Okay. It should actually come from this side, I think. I think what I'm going to do, change sides. Hoping it doesn't break. Alright, we have a chance here. So if I remember correctly, it's pretty hard stuff. I believe it's been stabilized. It's getting really thin there, but I don't want to take all that down. I'm going to have to take all that down too. but I'm going to try and get this saw mark out. I did an awful job. And that wasn't the saw, that was me. Alright, that's pretty good there. Got a little tiny bit left, but that'll come out on the next ones. Now I gotta bring this down. I could end up backing it maybe. I could end up backing it instead, just to fill that gap in. Look how terrible that is. If you're just trying, I did a terrible job on that. Look at that. So that's how not to do it. Luckily you didn't watch me do it live. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Ay. I think I just scared like 50 people away at the same time. Hey Shaq, how you doing? I have to put my other goggles on, I think. Just a quick second. Terre mère fleur de vie. So, Mother Earth, flower of life. Is that correct? I think that's good. Yeah, I just did it in the dark. Actually what happened was, I said I would take the new puppy out for me and him to practice going out and letting him do his business. And then I somehow got sidetracked into coming out to cut. And it was almost dark when I did that. And then the puppy decided it's time to go out, so I had to give up some more time, a light time. So I did this in the dark. With just a little headlamp on, and it shows. But it's alright. Maybe you'll know once I get it all fixed up. As long as I can get this down, maybe 3 or 4 more millimeters, that should be good. Reaching. Sorry about that noise. C'est bien, merci. What a great name that is. That's a great name. Hey Billy Steele, welcome in. Glad you could join us. Thanks for saying hi in the chat. That's bad. Alright. That's awful. So, what do I do here? I could fill it in with black, or I could bring it all the way down so it's the same all the way around and pretty thin. I think I'm going, I don't know. It's also a good spot. You could put a piece of wire through there and maybe wire wrap it, tie it in there. Maybe we could do that. Let's see. What if I did this? Clean that up. Kind of. chocolate mousse. Yeah, it's nice stuff, Billy. I've only done one other piece of this, and there are a lot of people wanting it. Now that I've got two, I will sell one of them. And I still have a little bit of the rough left as well. If you're into high-end jewelry and antiques and stuff, so I kind of do antiques and estate sales as well as my lapidary. Yeah, so I'm always looking at new channels, and Jason Adams' channel. So actually, I think they'll be selling on Bully Run Coffee tonight. So I think they're going on at 6 if they haven't gone on already. I think they're doing a consignment sale. You go over there, say hi, tell them Sir RocksAlot sent you, and then you can either stay there or you can come back. I'll be here a while. And we've got some pretty neat materials to do today. The shape's pretty good. I'm going to have to decide what to do with the beautiful soul mark. But I'm going to start pretty good on the shape, pretty good on the girdle here, and I think we're going to start turning it. So let's go over here. But yeah, Bully Run Coffee. That's Jeremy's channel. Alright, I'm just going to start taking this edge over the top. That's expensive stuff, but you know, if you're in for an education, it's a good place to go. And then some of my other favorite stops is Love Tanya over at My Jewelry Addiction, another reseller out of California. And when she says she has an addiction, she sells a bunch and then gets a bunch more. But she's also a lot of fun, and she does quite a few sales with Doug from Raven's Chest. You have Kirsten over at Kirsten's Bread Resale. And you have Wendy at Wolf Walker Collectibles. She's a great silversmith. A lot of experience and a lot of knowledge on Native American. She's been doing it for quite a few years. Both in New Mexico, and she was the only trade store up in Virginia, like 30 plus years ago. Super nice lady. And then you have Christy over at Ladies Who Loot. She is out of Arizona. And she takes you, if you are a member, you can do some pre-sale purchases, or you can do some live purchases at estate sales. She actually takes you into the sale and you can point out some pieces, but there is a membership fee each month. But she also offers some free shipping with that as well. Who am I missing? Oh, Jody's Jewels. Gotta love Jody. Another super nice lady. And she takes you into antique stores and everything too. Bye, Ryan. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Hey, Blue Diamond. We got Blue Diamond and Billy Steele. I don't know if you two have met before. It sounds like you should. Those are great names. And a little history on myself is I'm an English American, I guess. And that's where the funny accent comes from. Oh, funny. That's where my accent comes from. And I grew up over there. Miss my family, don't miss the weather. And then, yeah, worked all my life, still working, and I just really enjoy cutting rocks, and like a little discovery adventure each time I cut a piece. And now I have all you guys to join along, which is fantastic. You can learn from all my mistakes, and maybe learn from some of the things that I've gathered up over the years. For example, I did a really awful cut on this, and look at it, that's just gorgeous. So we've got a cut there that I still have to get out, a little bit up there, but that's the worst side. So I don't have to make the decision now on this back. I can come back to it. I could blend it in where it's just higher on one side than the other and keep that as the back. I could, if I wanted, get some black JB Weld or some other black compound or epoxy compound and fill that in. But I think I'm going to leave it. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it, kind of. Still got to get that saw mark on this side out of here. Actually, I can take my mask off. No. Take my mask off for a second. And I lost my finger. Or part of the finger. So let's bring that down. Because even though it might not be a high dome, I at least need to have a smooth surface on the top. And yeah, I only work till Thursday during the week. So I come on live on Thursday evenings, and then I come on again live on a Sunday before I gotta go back to work. Helps me with my sanity. And I usually go live on Sundays about 1:30 and Thursdays about 5:30. That's so nice. Alright, so we're almost there. You can still see that little bit there. With a reflection of the light right there. And we're going to move over to this third wheel. Yep, nice. Nice. Let's get in here. Let me have a quick sip of sweet Coca-Cola. And I always forget to eat before I come on. Alright. Let's smooth this up so it's good to go. So this third wheel is really the last part of my rough shape. But I need to get any big scratches, bugs that I want out, if there are any fractures in it that I want to get out, any sort of inclusions that I want off the surface, I need to get them out now. Because the three wheels after this will not take up enough material. Turning out pretty good. Pretty good. And I do gotta shoot. Alright, here comes the decision, and it's going to be that I'm going to flatten this out. So we're going to go back. Let's go all the way back. I'm gonna flatten this out. I didn't think I was going to, but we're going to. Because if I'm going to end up setting it and not wire wrapping it, I need it to be flat. So hopefully it doesn't break. Pushing pretty hard. I'm kind of in a dangerous zone, so because of those two different heights, pressing down on one rather than, so if I press down on this side, the thin side, it's quite likely it could crack right down that middle. So I really got to make sure I'm only pressing on the thick side. Especially with the amount of force that I'm putting on there. Getting the outside down first, and then I'm going to start working to the middle. A little dangerous. Lighten up a little bit. Almost there, and now I've got to start bringing it up the wheel and pressing down on the thicker side. Alright, we better do a check. Let's do a check. Alright, we're looking pretty good. So I've gone down enough over there. Still need to bring just this little triangle. That triangle that was still showing blue still has to come out. I gotta try and do it evenly, which is not easy. Alright. Getting there. Almost there. So I decided to do this because otherwise I'd have to come back at it later on, and I might as well just do it while we're live. So if it's going to break, it'll break when you guys are watching. And we've had a couple of those. And hopefully, when I get this done, you'll see why I did it. Almost done with the streaking. Still there just a little bit. See that tiny little bit? Right across there. tape. Chuckle Cat is watching here somewhere. Hey Gwen, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate you saying hi. This is some Blue Moon Turquoise we're doing. Really nice chocolatey brown matrix. Like almost a dark chocolate. And uh-oh. Ooh, I thought I felt it crack. But I don't think it did. I thought I felt it. It might go. I hope it didn't. It is really got thinner now. And I gotta stop pressing so hard. Alright, what I felt was just a little bit of the matrix popped out the back there, and that's okay. So, that is the back, and it looks like we got it all down. Now I need to make it even. Looks pretty good. A little bit more in here. Alright, we gotta move over before I ruin it. But now we got both sides look really nice. Really nice. So, a couple of little tiny bots in there. But look at that, isn't that striking? That's just some awesome material. Alright. It would make a great bowler. It also make a great double-sided, I don't know. It could go either way. I don't know if you can have a double-sided bolo. But yeah, it's a good size for it. I think you could fit a setting on the back pretty easy. I was learning, I mean, I know about bolos, but some of the aging that you can do, and I gotta think of the name. It begins with a B, and it's a Benefold, maybe? I think it's Benefold. Were the ones that came out with the new sort of, well, back then it was a new bolo clasp, which has the little fold-down clasp on the back and tightens up on the leather. Before that, so prior to that, they had the double loop, which the double loop works, but it doesn't hold very well, and you have to keep pulling your bolo up your leathers. That's a funny sentence. Yeah, keep pulling your bolos up your leathers. All right. But yeah, they just had like 2 loops on the back, and when your leather would go through, you'd have your silver end pieces to stop it from falling off, but it didn't stop it from sliding up and down while you were being active. So I think is it Benefold? I think it might be Benefold, patented in the 1950s. Thank you, Get Your Dome. Mr. Steve, how are you doing today? This is some pretty stuff, Steve. Look, if you can find me this, find me some more of this. That's some pretty material right there. Now I can do the dome a little bit better on the edge. And I can bring it down a little bit more than I had it, which will help me take that little bit of a saw mark that was on the face off too. it. I'm sort of pulling it over the edge just a little bit, and I'm not pressing nearly as hard as I was on that last wheel. Hey Star, how you doing today? Been watching all your knickknacks coming out, but also the wood whittling you've been doing. It's called whittling, I believe, but the carving that you've been doing has been great. You don't know Star Winter, she's over in the UK. Yeah, it's gotta be bad up there. Yeah, I read there's a big storm coming across, but they were saying it's even going to be reaching sort of the lower states of Texas, and when it hits into the mountains of North Carolina, so Charlotte and that area is going to be pretty wicked. So I hope everybody's warm is one, but I hope the winds don't cause too much damage. And Steve, up by you, it must be a different front up that way, unless it's like the polar vortex that's coming down to get you. Turn the back real quick. And then I'm going to do this bottom edge, which is still a little too sharp right here. I'm going to take that out. Yeah, we like free stuff. So Star Winter has its channel if you go over there, and then also Lions Fix-It Shop, which I don't know if it's Lions Fish Shop or Lions Fix-It Shop, but one of the two will find you in his wood workshop. And he also takes you on some wonderful walks around the sort of Midlands and Northern England. I guess the Midlands more, Northern Midlands, a little south of Manchester, really. But it does make me miss home. Look at that. All right. Let's do a dry shot real quick, just to see. Yeah, you seem to be doing all right with it. At least you know it's there, and you're starting to tackle it. I got to tackle some stuff myself. All right, look at the so that's off the 220, sorry. And turquoise is shining up already. All right, let's move over. I've never been on this piece a while. I love your garden you have up there. I know it's not huge, but you've got it set up pretty good. I know my brother's garden, he got fed up trying to mow the lawn, so he put like an astroturf down. And I think the dogs tore it up. And Star Winter's another one. I've seen her get blood on her carving, so it's not just the beginning and an end product. There's some work done in between, and blood, sweat, and tears. I don't know if the tears come in, but definitely some blood and sweat in there somewhere. But actually, we're doing pretty well today. Oh my goodness. That was in Wisconsin? Wow. That's miserable. Sorry, but I would be miserable. I get miserable at plus 48. No, not plus 48, but once it starts getting below 30, I'm not a happy camper. Do that bottom edge again. So I'm really glad we went back and did that and took out that huge saw mark. Let's see here, how are we doing on height? Looks pretty even. Maybe a little extra on this edge. Just gonna take that down a little bit. But yeah, thank you all for joining. Really appreciate it. You know, spending any of your time with me, I am beyond honored. You have no idea. And I guess we'll show the puppy in here somewhere along the line. I don't know if it'll be tonight. Uh-oh. Did I hear puppy outside? I think I heard puppy outside. It is now dark outside, so she's so little, we gotta be careful of the birds, the owls and the hawks we have around here for right now. So we gotta keep a good eye on him. But he's really healthy and he's pretty much trained already. It's really amazing. Alright, I think we did pretty good there. Let's do a dry shot again. Turn that off a second. So this is only up to the third wheel. And look, I mean, it's polishing up already. And it's got 3 wheels and the ZAM to go. So, ooh, look at that. That's pretty. That's some really nice material. Let's get that one off, see if it looks better that way. Nope, I think we're going to do this. Let's do that. Squeakers. There you go. Alright, that's nice. Super cheap, not bad. A little more expensive. Now we're gonna go, let's do the, what we think is, yeah, it does. It looks like a jumper. I mean, a sweater. 1980s sweater. It looks like that guy off of the British baking show. All right, this stuff. So this is new material for me. Maybe Alpine Village. But I chopped this yesterday. Let's see if we can get this coming in clear. That's pretty good. Okay, you ready? Oomph. Look at that. I love that. That's pretty. It's got like petroidals or blossoms of turquoise. Really pretty stuff. So I think we'll do, I don't know if we do a nuggety one there or we do this one. I'm going to do the small one first, see how it cuts. I've never tried this one before. I hear puppy steps outside. Oh, it's coming in. Let's see. Watch out for the light, people. Here's a bigger light. Oh, that's really bright. That's okay. not going to show everybody, but this is our new little guy. You ready? Boop. Hello, buddy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Toby.
Isn't he the coolest? He is awesome. So take all that. You have any eyes in there?
There they are.
I got eyes. Look at me. Isn't that fantastic? He is 3.5 pounds.
3.8, thank you very much.
He is 3.8. Thank you very much. It's a sheepoo, to put it the polite way. Hey, North Star, I didn't know you were lurking back there. Yes, he is a mix of Shih Tzu and Poodle.
I'm just a cute.
Yep,
blend.
Super cute. Well trained. He's only 13 weeks old in a day. And learning fast, just trained up really quickly. Well, somebody was puppy calling you, North Star, because there he is. All right, let's go back to work. Bye, buddy. Doot, doot. All right. I'm glad I could share that with everybody. There you go. Oops. Let's get rid of the super bright light. It's so bright I can't even look at it. There we go. So that's our new little guy. If you like the new little guy, give me a thumbs up. Maybe I can put him to work. Oh, we do need some water here, don't we? So yeah, he's gone through his second boosters and his shots. And he's only made one mistake in the house. And he wakes up when I wake up in the morning and has to go straight out, but then he's good. So super happy. And so far he's getting along with the cat, which is amazing to us. So the cat has not hissed at him once, which I don't know if that's good or scary. So, all right. We have a name. His name is Tobias, or Toby. We were driving up to get him, and it just came to us when we were driving. We tried a few other things like Major and Captain, and we thought about Perot. So right now he is Tobias, and we're looking for a middle name. Okay, let's get going. Sorry, I got puppy brain now. Makes you all mushy. All right, here we go. All right. Nice and wet. This is the first time we've tried this material, so actually I do need to take a quick picture. Right there. And now we're going to get on with it. I'm just going to go around the outside so we can get a girdle like we normally do. Alright, this is, so not only do I like the pattern in this, but I also like the hardness of it. It's hard, but not crazy hard. So, yeah, I like this stuff. Oops. Go around the whole stone. I think so too, but we actually chose it. It does. So actually, I have a cousin up by you, Starwinter, and his name was Toby growing up, but really it was Tobias. And I forget what his sister's name is. I gotta think of his sister, Amy. And they lived. Where did they live? They lived in Wigan. So they lived in Wigan and had a an uncle there too that was in, he was head coach for Wigan for a long time. I'd tell you his name, but then you'd look me up. So yeah, Tobias, and we thought of Toby and then Tobias, and then Freckle Cat looked it up and it did say God is good, which is great. I mean, so yeah, it came to us for a reason. Alright, I think I'm going to go straight over to, well, let's do the top a little bit. See how low I have to get this. Change the orientation on the bottom. And I'll tell you if we have to do that when I pull this off this wheel. Wow. Nice stuff. Look at the color in there. Okay, so let's think about this. I've got a little bug on the side here. You may have to bring that in. That is okay. That little bug is not going to come out very easily, so I might have to bring that all the way in. And so I might end up having to have a couple little bugs in this one. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, you should find it, Steve. My grandmother, Starwinter, was a magistrate in Wigan back in the 70s, I think. When was that? So yeah, it had to be back in the 70s. And my granddad, he was an old kind of, so my granddad was a lot of mining unions, and I knew that, and it wasn't until my aunt, she recently passed, maybe 2 years ago, that she called my granddad a Tommy. But he was just old labor or old mining unions from back in the 40s and 50s, 60s. But my grandmother was a magistrate in Wigan for a little bit, and she lived out. So she moved from, I think I told you. So they moved from Wigan when she was young to Clayton Lemore's, and then when my grandfather passed away, she moved back to Wigan. That's where she ended up passing away. But nothing you said, Steve. All right, let's go onto this middle wheel. And how to get rid of this little pocket right here. I don't like it being on the edge, but I don't like bringing in the edge too much either. Maybe I can roll it out a little bit. Let me bring it in a little bit from the side. And I'm hoping I can roll it off a little bit. Let's see. So, coming in, it's got to almost halfway up the stone right here at the end of this little vein of matrix. It sure does. I had an uncle lived in Wakefield for a long time. And so we go over to his house when I was younger. I learned how to juggle on the side of his wall with my cousin and his niece. So my cousin, his niece taught me, no, his daughter taught me how to juggle with tennis balls on the outside wall of his house. But the other thing he had was he had a blind squirrel. This is no lie either. So he had a blind squirrel that he would feed. The squirrel lived in his back garden. And it wasn't a big garden, but lived in his back garden. And he would feed it, and he would let the squirrel come in his house during the daytime. And then it would go out at nighttime. And he had that squirrel for a long, long time. He was a teacher and an artist. A painter. I don't know if we have any of his pieces in the family anymore, though. I'll have to ask. What? Steve, dude. That's insane. Thank you so much. Wow. I liked you already. That's fantastic. And so, wow, you're so kind. You guys, if you don't know Steve and his daughter, I know he's mentioned her name already, but I don't need to. Fantastic people. I believe he's a tree guy, and he also did a lot of rocks with Lapidary Dave and Don Dupuy. Freezing his nuts off today, but that's so kind. I don't even know quite how to express myself on that. But what it also does, Steve, is it puts me over my limit of getting to 100. So I now have my first 5 people, I think, that in my early monetization days, I think I'm a pickle. So I think I'm gonna get paid in a check, and I'll have to show the check when it comes in. But I know they take a whole bunch. But wow. Yeah, everybody in the chat, please thumbs up, Steve. Get your bone. Please, thumbs up for Get Your Bone. And you'll see him everywhere. He pops into a lot of different chats. Has a really good sense of humor. And wow. That helps me pay for material too, and that's really all I expect to get from being on this platform, is being able to share with you guys me learning, sharing what I have learned, you guys watching the mistakes that I make. Maybe I want to be able to share where I source my materials from. I'm going to give pretty honest reviews about where are good places to go and where you expect to get what you pay for, basically. So if you're buying cheap, more than likely you're going to get cheap material. But yeah, Steve's been a huge help. And in fact, do I have it here? I have it here somewhere. I don't know where it is. But yeah, I have your daughter's painting out here somewhere. I keep it right here all the time. I don't know, can you pin? So, wow. Let's bring that up. We're getting a bit of a shape. Sorry for the sidetrack. I gotta, in fact, let me take a quick picture with my other phone here. That's fabulous. I don't yet, so I was thinking about it, but if I did that, I want to be able to offer the members not something substantial, but something that I'm not sharing with other, just people that come in and say hi. Not even, I want to share it with everybody. That's my problem. I want to share everything with everybody. I started this channel with basically no intentions of getting to where it's got. I'm amazed that just in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I guess it's 4 weeks, I've gained like 400 subscribers, I think, which is insane to me, really. And I keep plodding away at what we're doing. I try to find different materials for everybody. That does cost some money, but I also want to be able to. So what I thought about doing was giving the members an inside look at my other sort of hobbies, which is estate sales. And I have permission from some of the local estate sale vendors now that they don't mind me filming. I'm trying to figure out a way that I don't want to offend any of the clients that come in to buy stuff. Hey Aaron, how you doing today? We were looking, Aaron, so if you guys don't know Aaron, he does some amazing stuff. Steve, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I know, Aaron, you took some of your content down for a little while, and then you put that short up yesterday. I don't know if I was the first or second one in on the short, but man, the work that you've been doing is just amazing. Just some of the combos you have in there, some of the materials you have in there. I mean, I can only hope to come anywhere close to that one day. Just in that little short that you showed. And so yeah, I've got 2 of the most generous guys in the world in the chat right now, Steve and Aaron. So going back to you, Miss Starwinter, I would like to do memberships maybe, but only if I could offer the members what I feel is comparable to them spending a couple of bucks a month. I have a couple of memberships where it gives me free shipping. They give me pre-sale looks at certain items, and for me, it's worth that small amount of money each month. So I've thought about it. I'm gonna let it go around my bonks a little longer and let it bounce around a little bit. I thought about offering stones. I'm not sure yet. Really not sure. If any of you guys have any ideas about what would be a good way to do membership, let me know, because I don't want to just have you guys have some extra emojis or something. I hope that makes some sense. Because I'm really not into it for the money. I mean, money-wise, I would love to sell some of my stones. So that I can go out and get more material and do the same thing. And be able to share that with everybody. That's really my only goal. And maybe the more stones I sell, the better material I can get. And yeah, it could go up from there, I guess. Right now, I'm really happy with this. So let me oval this out a little bit better. There we go. Bring the back in again. Alright, what do I have? 57.45. Thank you. I really appreciate that, though, and I appreciate the sort of mental support that gives as well. Thank you. And what's funny is they just let go of my boss again, another new boss, and they might be offering it to me again. I've done it once. I showed them that I could do a great job, and then I stepped down. So I don't know. Thanks, Steve. Still up a little bit. I think it's got to come up here. I'm eyeballing this piece, trying to oval it out a little nicer, a little cleaner. It's got to go right there. Right there. There it is. That's pretty nice. Let's go onto this third wheel. We're doing pretty good. I mean, we got 3 good pieces out. We could just we could do the next 3 wheels. So, which would you rather I did? I could take these 3 that we've done and go on to the next 3 wheels, and then take it all the way to the Zan and polish them out. And that's not quite right. Or I could leave the 3 pieces to the 3 wheels that we've done already and start a new piece. So I could stay on these 3 wheels, or I could use the 3 pieces that we've already done, move over to the other 3 wheels and finish them up. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. It only takes one of you to tell me which way to go. I hope so. It's the year of the horse. There you go, Starwinder. You gotta dig out all your equestrian goodies to sell to get them out of the house, like me. And I do have some horse wood sculptures and stuff that I could get rid of. Maybe we can all do that together. Alright, it's looking pretty good. looking at this, and this would almost fit into North Star bracelet that I still haven't finished. Okay, let's have a look at that. That's pretty good. So most likely, still a little flat there. Most likely Alpine Village. Right. Finish them up. All right. Oh, so you've horses all over the place. All right, so we're going to finish them up then. Let's do that. So we're going to move back to that. Let's turn it off just for a second. Just for a breather to our ears. Steve, I can't believe you. Thank you so much. It will actually help with some material that I've been looking at. So thank you. And then we will show that material too. So how about that? Oops. Let's see if I can do this here. There you go. I'm going to squeeze it. There you go. Put it in place. That's pretty good. All right. So we're going to finish these three. Which means I will have to do the piece for Miss Frecklecat on Sunday. But Miss Frecklecat wanted me to do one of these pieces, which we will do. We'll do this Sunday. This stuff's pretty cool too. If you can see that, look at that. The reds and greens, beautiful. So we'll do that one Sunday. And we're gonna get these done right now. And because of Steve, I'm gonna work on for a while now. What are we at? Almost 2 hours. Yeah, 41 in the chat. Almost $100 in super chat. Fantastic. And 47 thumbs up. What a great day. I did, and it was Hans Heckel. I forget, Hans something. Carl Hans something, and it may be that was the correct one actually. Pretty sure it is, and in fact, I was gonna sell that because I did want to buy material, so I'm having to sell silver to pay for some of the materials that I'm getting in to do lapidary with, and I was going to sell that piece, and then I don't know, I like the design on it too much. The being from Denmark gives it a little bit more of a price to it, so I might sit on it for a bit longer. All right, let's do this one real quick. This one should be pretty quick, a little bit harder. But we've got this is a 600 grit, and then we've got the 1200 grit and the 3000, and then we'll go over to the exam station and finish them up. So here we go. It shouldn't take too long. I'm really just going over what I've already done. And if I did a decent job before we got onto these three wheels, it should make it fairly easy to get through these three. So this was the cheap material. I bought it out of Arizona. First time I bought from them, it was $100 a pound. So if I can get 3 decent stones out of the 12 stones that I bought, It should pay for itself. And so far so good. I mean, this is like a when I finish should be around a, because I got it cheap, I can then forward that price that I got it for onto the person that buys it from me. I'm not going to overcharge for it. So the work in it today is going to be maybe 45 minutes on it, and so it's probably a $40 piece. I say that, but I haven't finished it yet. So just doing the wiggle waggle, doing the dome, trying to get it as even as I can. Thank you, Scott. So I want to come back and visit Star, and my problem is I want to go metal detect all the different places that I think I should have metal detected when I was a kid. And that includes the Pennines and some secret little spots that I know in the south of England. And I didn't really know or acknowledge where I lived in the south of England was on the beginning of the longest Roman road in England. And the Romans had a foundry maybe half a mile or a quarter of a mile away from my house. And so all the iron that the Romans made that went across England, their foundry was not that far from where I grew up some of my time as a childhood. And I mean, I've buried a few things in the woods, but I never found anything out in the woods. The back's going to have the little hole in it, and that's okay. I'm just getting that slight edge there. That's not too sharp. Yeah, Star, I'm going to have to send you all my silver markings for research. I'm pretty good with them. Scottish ones aren't too bad. Irish ones aren't too bad. But when I start getting over into Germany, Holland, Denmark and Norway. Actually, Denmark and Norway isn't too bad either. But Germany and Holland and French markings, I don't very well at all. And I'm talking stuff that had to be prior to the left-facing lion croissant, which I guess actually is French, so. Alright, next wheel. Should get a little bit quicker. Everybody tipping out. Yeah, I can too. So, I love ceramics, and ceramics are so hard to find who made something, unless you know them locally. Like Chinaware is a little easier, but ceramics and art studio stuff is a little more difficult. And I blame my parents. I guess I talked about, you know, going on holiday and always going to the ceramic shows and live crafting stuff like glass blowing and that kind of stuff. But yeah, now look at me, I collect glassware and ceramics, some jewelry, and now we're doing rocks instead. So yeah, I buried somewhere in the woods in the south of England. I buried a can of a tobacco can with some of the, I don't know what I put in there. I think I probably put a couple of messages to myself and some trinket stuff. Maybe a 50-pence piece or something. I don't know. Maybe an old penny, Victoria penny or something. But I buried it out in the woods. But before I buried it, I took out a couple of letters from the top of the tobacco tin, and it was Golden Virginia tobacco. So yeah, if you write that down on a piece of paper and take out like 3 or 4 letters, you can see what it says. And that is buried in the south of England. I think I know where it is. I think it's probably rusted out by now, but alright, that's looking nice. Move on to that third wheel. Let me do this real quick before I move on. Skipping stuff. I think I'm good to move on. And that's right there. I'm going to have to go around the outside, the whole outside, and blend it in a little bit better. Hope I don't muck it up here. Yeah, that's good. Alright, third wheel. This is a 3000 dirt right here. I put a decent semi-polish on it. And by now I should have all my facets out. Any crevices or little bugs or inclusions that I want out, they should have already been out 2 wheels ago. And if they're still here, they will stay. But they also, they show that it's a natural stone, and I'm okay with that. Just hit 2 hours, so thank you all for sticking with me if you've been here this whole time. It's fantastic. We'll have these up to final polish in about, I don't know, 5 minutes. And then after that, I get to go eat my London broil Swiss cheese sabaruni, which I've been waiting to eat since lunch. So, all right. Do a quick dry test on here. And you can already see it's got a pretty good polish to it. So that's up to 3,000. And I don't see any major scratches in it. And that Zam will already shine it out, so. I don't know if you saw. So, there you go, Star. You're talking about memberships, so one of the things I found is so we all know how pricey silver is. So these are about 10 inches tall. They're weighted, so it's just a thin gauge silver that's on these, but even the bottom's 4 inches. But if you can see the price I got them for. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So that was my find of the week. All right, let's work on this second one. Do I have the other one here? So here's another little find I got. Oh, that's not the one. Wow. I can't show that one. That's too nice. But I forgot that one. It's not here. Alright. I'll show you the one I found today too. This is the Blue Moon. Not everybody would love all this matrix in it. I absolutely love it. Because it gives the streaks of turquoise in here such a fantastic sort of contrasting material to stand up on. It's almost like boulder opal with huge streaks of opal in it that happens to be turquoise. Not much of a dome or anything on this one, but even in a nice cuff or pendant, or somebody suggested a bolo tie. I don't think too many people in the UK wear bolo ties. I might be wrong. I don't think so. My brother used to. So I shouldn't say nobody. Yeah, it's gorgeous stuff. So I'm just sort of pulling from the middle to the edge and rolling the stone at the same time. It's not going to ever have a high dome to it, so just giving it what I can to it and pulling it off to the edge of the girdle. This one could have been so much thicker, except, yeah, I was a little impatient on the saw last night and came out when it was dark outside and had a little headlamp on and woke up the little neighbor's kids. I try to be as considerate to my neighbors as I can. when it comes to machines and cutting stuff and making noise. Yeah, let's do the back. That bottom edge. And both sides look really good. That's the back. That's a really nice piece. Keep going. Not long to go now, and then we'll be onto the Zan. Steve, if you're still there, thank you so much. You're off your rocker. Those are kind words, believe me. Like I tell my mother always to smack my brother in the back of the head, but it's all out of kindness and love and brotherly understanding. Alright. I'm going to get down to the 3000. Do that same thing, so pulling from the middle to the edge and rolling the stone from side to side. Turn it around, do it again the other end. And I'm going to pull it to the edge from the thin width right here. And that should cover all my bases right there. In there. There we go. Up to 3000. And this one I just have to go over each little surface once, maybe twice. It's not taking any material out. It's just taking any tiny little scratches from that 1200 grit wheel off, which there really shouldn't be too many anyway. Now there's a few other resellers on right now. So, I don't know who's popping through. It's funny you say that, Star. My mother still travels a lot, even though she's very kind for years, is the best way for me to put it. But she still travels. She still plays golf. It's amazing, really. And I always tell her I'm just going to carry her bags for her wherever she wants to go. Yeah, getting that turtle. Glad you all got to see Toby this morning, today. Almost said this morning. But Star, you got to be in morning by now. Or pretty close to it. No, you got to be in the morning. Or late night, you could call it. Alright, I think we are done with this one. Looking nice. I'm gonna go, we got a blend. One more to go. Looking really good. Alright. Back to the 600. This one's pretty small. We got a tear in the glove, but we're at the end, so it should be okay. Same thing, just have to do the edge real quick, do the back. Phosphates, turquoise are very forgiving. Now, if you press too hard, you can make it disappear really quick and give yourself a huge facet, and then you have to redo the whole thing. So it has its benefits and its disadvantages as well by being soft. Rolling it around on the side of the wheel, turning the stone as I go. And this one should be a little bit quicker. Really nice material though. Actually, I'm happy with all the 3 different types of material. They're all turquoises, but they've all come out really nice. That's not too bad. Hey, the Mandel. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot from just watching other people. I learned a lot from watching other people. I'm hoping all the watching I've done in silversmithing's going to pay off in my next projects. I am going to start doing it. I have everything I need. I just need to sit down and throw some pieces out. And if it gets too cold here, that might be what I end up doing, is taking the stones that we've done and actually getting them set into some silver. Done a couple of pieces now and they worked out okay. I learned something from each time I did it, and I think I have one set of videos that I keep open on YouTube that everybody can see, and it's mostly silversmithing, I think. Probably silversmithing, phosphates, and opal. Let me move you over. Last one, last wheel. And then we're going to do the final polish. Well, I'm glad you got the walk in. That's good. Well, I did work today, so, and I'm getting my exercises on the wheel. Yeah, that's the one-handed practice. Some people can just do this so easily, and I guess they've just been doing it for years, so it's natural to them. But these are the little things. So you were just saying how Mandel, you were saying how you visually learn. These are some of the things that I have to do after I've done it visually. I have to try and test it out physically. And one of those things is, it seems simple, but just rolling a stone on this moving wheel with one hand, so that when you do it with two, you're a lot more efficient. And to do it without your nails and the ends of your fingers being on the wheel is also quite the talent. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there. I mean, this little move, the wiggle waggle, or the feels like you're rubbing your tummy and tapping your head. I mostly saw this off lapidary Dave, and he does it with such ease. And he does it with little stones, big stones, triangular stones, and I don't know. It takes me a while to get it, but it's been a year and a half of me trying to work on this one, and I'm almost there. I think that's it. I think that is it, and we're going to move over to the van, and then we'll be done. And that's it. Oh, shoot, what happened? Let's go over to that. Alright, you turn that off. I'm going to turn on the bright lights. Mind your eyes. Okay. I'm going to pick up these stones. You can back this off a little bit too. Back this off a little. So those are the three, and we're going to go polish them right now. So let me get those dried up. Okay, so I've got those dried up now. And 1, 2, 3, I don't want to lose any. Take you off here. I'm going to head over real quick. Glad you guys got to meet Toby. Let's get into here. Oops. I want a live goal. We're at the end of it. Get some extra light. Come in a little closer. There we go. Just a tiny bit. How's that? That's pretty good. So here is my buffing wheel. This is ZAM. It's a chromium aluminum oxide wax, and it does superb with phosphates. So let's do this one. This was the $100 a pound material from Mexico via Arizona. And let's turn her on. I'm going to charge it up a little bit. more than enough, for me anyway. And I do the back first. And I know it's a phosphate, but it's just a double check to make sure it doesn't react with the chemicals that are in the wax polish. So, wow. Okay. So definitely no reaction there, but you can see the polish coming through really nice. And then I go ahead, do the edges. Oop. And let's get the face. And the face from the other direction. And let's see how we did. That's great. Really nice stone. I am super impressed. $100 a pound material. I can't complain. It's not fantastic, but it's certainly worth a try. And let's do the little one. So, let's see if we get more of a polish than what I already did on the 3000. You can kind of see the light right there. Let's see if we can do better. So again, let's do the back for a test. These little ones I gotta hold on tight so you can't really see what I'm doing. This one could fly really easily. And we've been really lucky on finding stuff, so there's the back. And now look at that light spread. It's really nice. Hey Dusty, welcome in. Yeah, I think, do I have to, I mean, I have stuff pre-Denver as well. Now we got Vegas, Denver, Quartzsite, Tucson, and I got stuff from a couple of years back. When McKay and Anderson were doing Quartzsite, was when I first started buying, I think. And they had that, they had the big chunks of green gaspiite that they were selling super cheap by the pound too. Everybody wishes they'd bought more. Just doing the front, trying to hold on to the stone. And let's see how we did on the polish. So this, wow. Super. That's really nice. Look at the matrix. Color is fantastic. And yeah, that's great. Most likely Alpine Village. Old school Alpine Village. And then let's do the last one. You doing alright, Dusty? So this is the Blue Moon. So that first piece right here was 100 a pound. I just got that. This, I think this we got at about 200 a pound, maybe 150. And then the one I'm working on, I think originally was 300. I didn't get that much, but it's already gone up to like, shoot, it's probably 500 a pound. So the back looks really good. Did the test already. Let me get the edges. You guys almost got me out of sequence there. But the blue moon I received is fantastic. Really, really nice stuff. Rock hard, really jaggedy, so you really have to interpret how you're going to cut it on the saw. Although I did an awful job of it yesterday. But actually this piece, we pulled this out of saw marks on both sides of the stone. And it's come out beautiful. So, let's do the front. And the matrix on this dries just a little bit lighter than it looks when it's wet. And it polishes up a little bit lighter as well. Okay, here you go. Let's turn that one off. Look at that. It's so nice. It's just really, really good stuff. I love it. Look at that. That's great. So that is the third piece. It's like, yeah, it's like lightning. Really, really nice stuff. So 1, 2, 3. It took us a while. I guess we sidetracked a couple of times. But 3 different grades, 3 different monies per pound. And you can kind of guess which ones are which. And I'm very happy with all 3. Really am. Yeah, like a Pollock. Well, we had Steven earlier, so I think he's related to Pollock, so it's like a Pollock painting. Thank you all so much for being here. Hey, Steve, get your bones. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Stay warm with your family up there. I know everybody's going through the storm this weekend. I will not be, so I don't envy you guys at all, but I will be thinking about you. I hope the winds are nice and kind to you, and that the degrees and the temperature is kind as well. So thank you all for being here. I love you guys. You can't even imagine. I wish I could express it. I'm glad you got to meet Toby. We will be back on Sunday, and we will do some new material. And yeah, we'll have new material, maybe some Jaspers. I've got the Cadys Mountain rough to do as well. So maybe something a little different on Sunday. Be safe. We will see you then. And in the meantime, take care of each other. And most of all, take care of yourself. Love you guys. Thanks, Steve. Bye, Star. Opal Guy. Aaron. Dusty. Mandel. Everybody that popped in. Thank you so much. Cheers now.